Hi, I'm Mr. Tim and welcome to Cobbler & Coles. Sometimes when you're camping, you just want that taste of home, or even when you're in your backyard, you just want a home-cooked meal, but you don't want the 5 or 6 pots and pans that come with it. So today, we're making one of my favorites. It's baked pasta topped with melted mozzarella cheese in a Dutch oven. So let's get cooking. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, just to help things out a little bit. Normally, I would make sure that my table is level, 100%, especially if I'm going to be doing any baking. But in this case, it's not 100% necessary. So we go in with the celery, the onions, and the carrots. And you can hear that sizzling. Oh yeah. Just want to get a little bit of color on this. And want to make sure we hit these with an ample amount of salt and pepper throughout the cooking process. All right, in with 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Anytime that I'm cooking at camp with ground beef, I try to do so with as lean ground beef as I can. And it's not for any health reason. It's strictly because I am trying to pay attention as much as possible to our leave no trace principles. And lean ground beef produces a lower amount of fat or grease that I have to dispose of. And we're going to talk a little bit more of that as we get closer to the next steps and what we need to do while we are out cooking at a campsite to make sure that we do not attract any animals or destroy any vegetation. All right. Now we should have great color on the beef. The veggies should be nice and soft. It's now time to pull off as much of that grease as possible. And you'll see another benefit to having it angling a little bit further back than normal. It makes it easier for us to get some of that grease off. What we're going to do is, rather than dumping this grease somewhere to have an accident, what we have is an aluminum foil boat with napkins on the bottom that we got put aside so we can scoop off that grease and get it off to a place where we can let cool, and once it solidifies, we can dispose of it safely. And the next step will be to add garlic. Yes, I did put a little bit of garlic, and we want to make sure you add it last. You don't want to put it too early or it burns. By all means, you can do this with any store-bought sauce. You don't have to go to these extremes by having the carrots, celery, and onions in the sauce. But I wanted to show that you can plan ahead and prep and have all this flavor and goodness in a camp meal. In with the sauces. Oh yeah. So I'm adding a tomato puree, tomato sauce, and tomato paste. Now is where I add in my Italian seasoning blend. This is mine. I mean, I'm sure you can buy a store-bought blend, but Mr. Tim also grows basil. He grows garlic. I grow a lot of other veggies and herbs, and I like to dry them and make them into my own blend. Got a little bit of oregano, thyme, just a little bit, basil, rosemary, and some other stuff. I'll have a list. Now, it's the time where we add the pasta. Like I said, parboiled pasta is pasta that has been cooked halfway. So if you read the side of the box, which, you know, nobody ever does. I mean, I do, because I don't want to get backlash from those that are watching. But in this case, for this pound of pasta, it only took about 5 minutes boiling in heavily salted water. Now we just mix it up, get everybody in the pool. All right, and I flattened it out a little bit to prepare for the next ingredient. Now, we have a couple different choices when it comes to cheese. In my personal opinion, you can't beat fresh grated mozzarella cheese. And I am, as with my family, a big fan of fresh mozzarella cheese. You can use the packaged, shredded, pre-shredded. You can use any kind of cheese that you want. If you want to make it more of a chili mac style, you can go with a shredded cheddar or Colby Jack. And what you want to do is you want to cover the top as evenly and as much as possible. So for the final step, we're just going to put the lid back on. If only you could smell what I'm smelling right now. And I know you know what time it is. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Now that's a cheese pull. There you have it. A crowd pleaser of a dinner. Homemade while camping. The pasta cooked wonderfully, not mushy. The cheese melted. Oh yeah. This right here, comfort food written all over it. Thank you all for watching. I'm Mr. Tim, and I'll catch you at the next campfire.